Hey, Robbie, thank you very much for joining us. We have definitely a titan of the industry today. We have Robbie Wilkins with Southern Visions Realty in South Carolina. Um, I know you've done over $1 billion in value of real estate, and with more than 35 years of experience, you've come from a broad aspect and areas of real estate. So we are very interested in learning from you and from your story and your business. So why don't you start introducing yourself and maybe telling us a little bit about your real estate journey?
Sure, sure. So I started my real estate journey 40 years ago in Lexington, South Carolina. We grew up on a farm outside of Columbia, South Carolina. And over time, suburbia reached all the way to Lexington. So 40 years ago, we did an executive subdivision with 3 to 5 acre lots. Obviously not very common today, but back then that's what it took to sell lots. And from there, we just started buying tracts and developing it into single family projects. Um, I was practicing law at the time and probably went full time into real estate development about 35 years ago when I formed Southern Visions Realty. From there, it's morphed into what I think a lot of people call a boutique real estate firm. We do probably 90% of the high dollar development on Lake Murray, which is a very large lake just outside of Columbia, South Carolina. And we also have a very large commercial presence. Um, we've done anything from Walmart, Lowe's, McDonald's. I built $150 Generals. We're currently building a $45 million project in Hilton Head, affordable housing, and a Kroger in Lexington. At the same time, I'm putting 300 lots on the line for Haven Homes, which is a large regional builder, and 150 homes for Stanley Martin, a large national builder. We also have numerous scattered lot projects and projects on the lake. So, in a very broad brush, there's what we've done in 35 years.
Amazing, so many projects. Can't even imagine the amount of lessons learned that you've gotten there, uh, because each project is different, right?
Yes, yes. Well, I always like to tell people my first lesson learned, and I took it to heart, and it's paid major dividends for us. When I started this journey, we went to, back then it's called the Home Builders Association. We went to a meeting in Dallas, Texas, and I met a family very similar to us. And he said, our main rule is we want to put an income producing property in our portfolio every year. And
Mm.
that really stuck with me because obviously I'm building Dollar Generals and selling them and building neighborhoods and selling the lots. So had I not listened to that, I would not have a large portfolio of income producing properties. And luckily, we've put more than one a year. But I think that's a good rule for anybody: is you want to put a project every year in your portfolio.
Yeah, that's actually how we started with my wife. We started doing like one property a year, and to actually get the money to be able to afford it, what we were doing, well, obviously it's savings, right? But like when you have kids, then a lot of expenses come
Right.
that you have to worry about. So we started doing some flips, like buying property and like flipping them, and then with the money we would buy an income producing property. And now, obviously, now as an investor, now that I'm like dedicated to the business, I'm able to work with investors who we're acquiring a lot more. But yeah, it's a very good advice for sure.
It's easier said than done. 40 years ago, I was not competing against hedge funds, New York money, all of that. Today, to put an income producing property in place takes a totally different set of variables than what we did 40 years ago. Um,
Right. No, that makes sense. I mean, like, I think the margins now are so thin that like the previous strategies don't really work as much. Maybe if you just want to keep it and like have the tenant pay by itself, but like to make it a cash flowing, there's now more. It all depends on operations, right? Like how
That's right.
efficient your operations are and
Yeah,
how you maintain
it's
costs.
almost impossible to put a deal together that's going to have a cash flow return to what you're looking for. It's going to have to come down the road. Now, we've just recently, I built about a 10,000 square foot office building in downtown Lexington 2 or 3 years ago. In that one, I made the tenants my partners, and we agreed to a return only 8.5%. But we were building on a AAA corner that was going to appreciate no matter what, and that project worked. So now I actually have a Mexican restaurant under construction, and I'm 50-50 partners with the operator. So I'm pretty much, and we do most of these deals, we try to do at least 50% cash. The Mexican restaurant, because it's got a lot of risk in it, we're all cash in that deal. You get to that stage when you've been doing this for 40 years. A lot harder when you're a brand new real estate investor to do a deal with all cash.
Most definitely, that is amazing. Um, so yeah, that's kind of like what related to my next question. In the current environment, high interest rates and a lot of the properties have gone up in value a lot. How are you operating and what is the niches that are working for you?
Um, Affordable housing, uh, it's an incestuous business. There are very few people in that business, and they're very protective of their territory. In most states, you have to have an affordable housing resume to even be awarded a deal. But we've worked really hard. I've built one, two, three, four affordable housing projects in the last 5 years, and those deals work. They're hard, but they work, and that's a niche. If you want to get into it, you ought to look into it. Every state has a large pool of federal funds that go to that state, and then it's allocated by a housing authority in that state. In South Carolina, for example, we have about $40 million annually awarded to what's called small residential development projects. Those are apartment projects of 39 units or less. And then on the LIHTC side, which is much more common, low income housing tax credit, probably 180 to $200 million a year. And we're a small state. Bigger states get much larger allocations than that. But you gotta have to have a partner. For a lot of people who are in the real estate business, they sort of think that they can do all of this themselves. And I've learned over time, get partners who have expertise in those areas and share the wealth.
Amazing. Yes, great advice. And like a coach, right? Like a partner, it would be even be better if it was a partner that is also your coach.
Yes, yeah, a mentor. That's exactly
A
right.
mentor. That's what I meant. Yeah, like a mentor.
Yes,
That's amazing.
yes,
Well,
yeah.
anybody in South Carolina, reach out to Robbie or Robbie. If you want to take somebody from DC, I'm here.
Uh, well, and for those investors and real estate people who are listening to this, I formed Southern Visions Realty, um, not as a typical brokerage. Now we do $2 to $3 million in brokerage, which means 100 million plus in sales a year. But the part I'm proud about is most of my agents, I try to put them in a deal every year. So I have built-in deals because my agents bring me different things, and we'll do a flip. We'll do a piece of property with a lot of road frontage and cut it up into smaller lots. We'll build neighborhoods, across the board, and that's a lot easier way to find a deal is have a real estate company with a group of agents. I know most people don't have that, but it's really worked for me. Uh, I will tell you, and you know this far better than me, that AI is going to change that though in the future. I have younger agents in my office who are using AI, and they can bring as many deals to the table as a outfit with 100 people could in the past. I mean, it's almost shocking.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. AI is definitely changing the game. It's already transforming it so quickly that you have to keep up to be able to survive, especially if you are starting out or you
Yeah,
have like a medium sized business.
yeah. And I have, as you can tell, I'm 70 years old. Oops, I'm sorry. I have older agents, and we have to drag them into the new age. Now, luckily, a lot of them have a large enough referral pool and can continue their business without adapting AI. But that's a rare breed going forward. Yeah, all of my younger agents that we're bringing on, I don't take a younger agent unless they're technology savvy and are willing to learn what AI will do for their career. And
Right. Right.
that's coming from a 70-year-old. So
That's amazing. Well, you look way younger than 70, and I can imagine it's because you are doing what you like, and you still have so many projects going that's what's keeping you alive, right?
yes,
And healthy.
yeah. Well, it's everybody asks me how I can keep all the things in the air, and it's always down to one thing: have good people around you. You can do lots of stuff if you have good people on your team.
Yeah, you remind me of my father-in-law. He's also 70. He is an entrepreneur since he graduated, actually since high school, I guess. But when he graduated college, and then he's been in so many different um, entrepreneurship endeavors. A lot of them didn't work, and but now he built a really big company. He is with a lot of good people, and now he's doing what he likes, which is actually real estate. He likes to build and develop, and so he says that's what keeps me alive. Like I'm actually living my dream now, and that I'm able to do this. And many
Right.
things up on the air. I'm like, how can you keep up? You know?
Well, he's like me. You'll probably have to cut this, but I call myself a deal whore. Uh, it, it, it's hard to turn down a deal. Um, but the ones you turn down, this is another lesson learned. The ones you've turned down are probably the best ones because those are the ones that come back and bite you. And I have a
Yes.
common saying when I sit down with my folks is deals are like a bus stop. They come every 10 minutes. So just be patient. Get the right one that works for you.
Very good advice. Yes, and I've definitely experienced that. You can't be. You have to like look for the right deal, right? Like a lot of the times, actually in real estate, you make the money when you buy, right? And
Right.
so you got to make sure you buy right.
Yeah. And being in the South, we're still blessed that we have appreciation on the real estate side. But we also have the exact same factors the rest of the country has, which is property taxes going through the roof, insurance premiums going through the roof, uh, maintenance and overall cost of buildings going through the roof. So it's difficult to be in our business if you don't check all the boxes and know what all your costs are.
Yes. So let me ask you, in your current operations, what is the biggest challenge that you have operationally, or where is like the biggest pain point?
The biggest challenge. Um, this sounds kind of funny, but the biggest challenge is people who've gotten into our business who don't know what they're doing. Obviously, that drives up cost. Land costs are crazy now because the hedge funds have come in and they're building neighborhoods for nationals. It's unbelievably low margins,
Mm,
less than 30% margins. And
mm,
30% might sound like a high margin, but it's not when you got a project that could take you 3 years to permit. There could be a moratorium. I mean, all kinds of things can go wrong. And they pay a lot of money for dirt, and they've driven up the cost of dirt
Mm,
more than it's really worth. So that's a major problem for us right now.
got it. So actually, the acquisition, right? Like finding the deals that make sense.
Right.
Um, it's kind of like lead acquisition, but like for the right deals that you can make it work.
That's right. And AI is part of the problem there too, because all of a sudden with AI, somebody can get out and make a text offer to a client,
Hmm.
and all of a sudden you call that client and they've already gotten, you know them, the AI folks didn't, and they've gotten 10 offers. And you sort of have to walk them through the minefield that, these offers came from somebody who hadn't done their due diligence, doesn't understand all the risks that goes with the deal, and their offer might not be realistic in today's world if you put all of that in. You'll find that out later when they get you under contract and go through due diligence and try to restructure the deal. And that's
Right.
happening.
Got it. So it's kind of like lead acquisition and really kind of like educating your client, the potential clients that um they might get like a lowball offer or like lower I'm sorry, like a higher offer, but it might be a lot more complicated. It might not even close. So it ends up being very costly for the seller.
That's right. That's right. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're like California now, or any of the more northern states that take a long time. We're 3 years from submittal of a set of plans on a neighborhood to permitting, and a lot can happen in those 3 years. And
Hmm.
the value of the land could had gone way down in that time period or way up, and so it's just that's making life more difficult than in the old days when we could get permits in a reasonable time period.
Right. Yeah, because like land development just takes a while, right? Like the permitting and actually doing the whole um getting the land ready. It just takes 2 to 3 years. So you have
Right.
to be very careful in analyzing the deal with all the different factors. Even like AI, right? That is uh, driving costs down in so many different areas, and it might affect some of your potential tenants. So yeah, I can imagine.
So this one will be different for you. Another problem is reality TV shows. Um, you watch HQ, whatever the home TV show channel is, and you'll see all these people going out and buying houses and fixing them up and renovating them and leasing them and making money. Well,
Hmm.
trust me, what you see on TV is not true. Um, the costs that they put out there are unrealistic, and the rentals they're getting are unrealistic, and it just you have to be a lot smarter if you go be in that business, and you got to have a lot longer investment return schedule than you did 40 years ago. I would not go into the rental business today
Mm.
because it just takes too long. I mean, you got to wait 7 or 8 years before the numbers catch up with your cost. And that's because of the hedge fund money that's come in, all these big companies, and just so many people watching these TV shows and thinking they can get rich quick owning rental properties. And there are plenty of success stories, but I think there are a lot more people who are not making money in that business and are happy when they get out.
Got it. What about in your so like lead acquisition to get potential clients that have property that you can make work? It's one. But what are you guys currently doing? I know you have realtors looking, but what else are you guys doing to acquire those?
You'll laugh at you've never had this as an answer, but in my case, all I have to do is go pull my 1974 high school annual and go look at my classmates who are now my age and are own tracts of land. And it's funny, they walk in this door one every week. But the newer agents are using AI. Um,
Right.
I mean, to be honest with you, they're using AI and they're using their own techniques and programs that they've developed through an AI consultant. Um, there are lots of people out there generating leads and trying to sell you something, but in my opinion, you're better off learning the business, learning AI, having a good team, and doing it yourself. Um, because that
Mhm.
same information that those folks who claim to be lead generators, they're selling it to you and your competitor and three other people down the street. And if they go do
Mm.
that, that's too much competition. Develop it
Mm.
yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Um, for sure. I think it definitely has to be in-house and be able to control it, and have access to it, right? That,
Right.
I think that's right. Now, let me ask you operationally, any other things that you would like to be more efficient on?
Yes. And we're working on it really hard. Back a house, and a lesson learned. We had a server. We were out there. We got hacked probably 5 years ago, and paid the ransom, and then didn't get my data back. So
Mm.
that was tough to recover. And so now we're going back with, and you will have to help me, Dave, because I don't have my IT. I think they call them CRMs. Is that right? The back of the
Correct?
office. Yeah.
Yes.
We had all of that data. We lost it when we got hacked.
Mm.
We've made some changes internally where it's a lot harder to get into our system today.
Hmm.
But we're putting the CRM together because we are, people want to be communicated with. And
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to communicate with a CRM system and the new AI technology that's out there. I wish I could explain it, but I'd have to get my younger people in here for that.
No, that makes sense. I completely understand. Yeah. The CRM makes everything easier. And I mean, that's how you keep up with your clients and your potential clients. You have like an automated communication
Right.
schedule or rhythm, and then like you can keep expanding it to actually get more efficient and get more deals in the door. Okay, no, this is great. Robbie, any other advice that you want to provide to the audience, and as well, and how can they work with you?
Um, if somebody wants help in the South, we've developed and built something in 4 states. I'm probably more of a mentor today than I am a partner, but I have a lot
Hmm.
of partners in the office, and I have a really large Rolodex. My clients are amazed. We're doing a deal in Charleston, and they need to know the core engineer's head, and I said, "Here's his number. Call him. He knows me from 3 other deals I've done." So we have a lot of resource for South Carolina, not as much for North Carolina and Georgia. Um, but and I'm listen, at 70, you always want to give back. If somebody's trying to figure something out, I'm happy to take a question and mentor them. When I practiced law, I was an estate planning lawyer. So I understand the estate planning side, I understand the tax side, and all of that makes a big difference to a family. And most realtors and investors don't have that kind of knowledge.
Hmm.
Um, I'll give you a good, perfect example. On Lake Murray right now, which is where we live, uh, we're now selling lots. I can't believe I'm even saying this. We're selling lots for $1.5 to $3 million a piece. So what has that done? That has made teardowns is a cheaper alternative to get real estate on Lake Murray. So there's a tax way to do a tear down that's really attractive to a buyer who wants to go down that road. You find a house on the lake with the lot that you want. It's $100,000 more than you want to pay for it. Well, there's a solution to that problem. You buy that house, you rent it for a year, and you do cost segregation. Cost segregation is where you accelerate the depreciation and you take a
Mhm.
large deduction. After you've taken that deduction and your accountant is comfortable, usually a year, you boot the tenant, bulldoze the house, and then go build your personal house on it. You just bought that lot for significantly lower by using that tax deduction. Those are the sophisticated kind of transactions we do all the time that your normal real estate agent or developer does not understand.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's just how the experience gives you creativity and how it's all about how creative you can get, right? There's just so many tools at the real estate, in the real estate industry at your disposal that you just, I guess you
Right.
learn them with experience and really just always being curious, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. And actually, no, one more question for you. And I'm sorry for putting you in the spot, but if you can think of a theme song for you or your business, what do you think that would be?
A theme song. Well, I'm a Marshall Tucker Allman Brothers guy. So my answer would be Rambling Man because I've rambled all over the place in the real estate business. And I'm amazed I was even able to come up with that.
Amazing. Well, Robbie, thank you very much. Well, I wish I was a rambling man if I can achieve what you have. Um, so
You
thank you
can.
very
You
much for
can.
all the insights.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, David.